Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to Girl, You're a Goddess, the sacred space where we step into our feminine power, owning our worth, and creating a life that feels deliciously aligned. I'm Hilary Burton, a women's empowerment coach, therapist, and a professional dominatrix. Think of me as your personal guide and hype woman on this journey to unleashing your deepest confidence, sensuality, and self-love. If you're ready to heal, rise, and start living like the goddess that you are, you're in the right place. So pour your tea or pop that bubbly and let's dive in. Goddesses! It's my birthday today! And in typical Scorpio fashion, I am all about celebrating. I love the acknowledgement. I love the excitement. I love all of the love, right? Like, I feel like this is a day where people really show their appreciation for you and their consideration. And it's so nice just to have my phone blowing up with all of these beautiful messages. And it feels so, so, so good. I love my birthday. I love celebrating. And I feel like the energy on your birthday is just magical, right? And yesterday was a really, really tough day. I ended up stranded on the side of the road for 3 hours. I took my Jeep into the dealership a couple weeks ago to get something fixed. They didn't fix it. It was the same issue. It was a mess. It was not how I plan on spending my day. I was excited to get in like a pre-birthday energy yesterday, and I'm going out of town this weekend. So I was like, well, I want to clean my house for the dog sitter and I want to prep some things. I was going to record this episode earlier. So anyways, here we are in birthday energy. And if you are watching this on video, my favorite top. And it's extra because why not? Because I can be. So if you see me fidgeting with my shirt, it's literally because all of this fur is so fun to play with. I'm literally my own stim right now. So anyways, we have so much to catch up on. I was in Vegas choking men out for money. What? Okay. Some of you, if you follow my social media, you have heard the story, but if you do not, we are going to get into it. Earlier this summer, a man invited me out on his yacht. We're talking. He knows I'm a dominatrix. He asked me if I know what fantasy wrestling is. He asked me if I know what fantasy wrestling is. I'm like, sounds fun. What's that? Tell me more. So he starts talking to me about this other arena, other offshoot world of doms where fit, muscular women wrestle men. And the clients, the men who are interested in this, the appeal is that they want to feel the physical power of a woman. So not just in the dom sense where it's more psychological, it's whips and chains. It's whips and chains. This is all physical. And so they want to feel the strength. They want to feel like they have been physically dominated by a powerful woman. And so I've been doing martial arts for years. I've been doing MMA for about 8 years. And many years ago, I was in Jiu Jitsu. And it wasn't the right fit for me at the time. I was getting too many injuries. And so recently, in the past year and a half-ish, I've been getting into jujitsu and judo. And so having my martial arts background, plus the background of being a dom, I have the psychological domination. I know how to speak to men verbally in a way that feels dominating or powerful or humiliating, whatever it is that they want to experience. And now I get to do it physically. Now I literally get to get on the mat and wrestle them and push their face into the mat. I am asserting my power and my dominance over these men. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's so therapeutic and it's such a good time. And if you know me, you know I am always laughing. Even in my dom sessions, I'm laughing. I'm playful. I have fun energy. And so in these wrestling sessions, I'm also laughing. And I'll get a good choke on them, or I'll literally smush their face into the mat. And I think it's funny. And so I'm laughing, which adds to the excitement for them also, right? It makes it more interesting and more fun too, and more playful. So, okay. So this man and I are talking about fantasy wrestling. He's like, with your height, with your physique, your body building experience, your dom work, and your martial arts experience, like, you would literally be perfect for this. And so Within 24 hours, I had a website for it made. I had profiles up on the main sites that clients find their service providers, that they find the wrestlers. And so it was just like this really fun whirlwind of excitement of this whole new, like, shiny side quest that I didn't even see coming, that I knew nothing about. And it just popped up for me. Ooh, okay. I do want to say this. This was really important. Energetically, mindset wise, manifestation wise. So it was the day before that I was really struggling with some financial pressure. And I realized that I needed to take some of the financial stress off of my business. And I was like, okay, I feel like there's too much financial stress on this. It's causing me to create out of a space of need instead of a space of fun and energy and wanting to provide services and wanting to be of use and wanting to help, right? Because when I'm in that space, when I'm in the service oriented space, when I want to help women build their confidence, I want to help women feel better about themselves. I want to be making these courses to help women level up their lives and tap into feminine and sensual energy. When I'm creating out of that energy of the wanting to help, of the fun, of the excitement, it's very different than when I'm creating out of need. When I need something, or I feel like there's a lack of something, and so I'm putting this out to, like, fill that gap. And so in this moment of time, there was a lot going on personally, there was a lot going on financially, and I realized that I had been creating out of need. And so the morning before I had this conversation with this man, I didn't really even know what was going to happen with this man yet. The morning before, I did a meditation and visualization about taking the financial pressure off of my business with some other outlet, some other opportunity. I was like, I don't know if that means I need to pick up more therapy clients. I don't know if that means whatever it is, but I need something to come in, an opportunity, a resource, something to happen that will help me take the financial pressure off of what I'm doing right now. And so literally that night met this. And so literally that day I meet this man and we have this conversation about this whole world of fantasy wrestling and this huge opportunity opening up. And I'm like, in divine timing, as always. Everything always works out in divine timing. It always works out exactly as it's meant to be. So I was so hyped for this. And I don't sit on things. I don't just let things sit and I don't delay them, right? Like, if there's something exciting, if there's an opportunity, if I have an idea, I'm taking action. I'm taking action on it immediately. So have the conversation with this man. I'm all pumped. I'm like, let's go. This sounds incredibly fun. Do I know where it's going? Do I know what's happening here? No, but I'm excited about it. What a cool opportunity. Let's do it. So yeah, literally the next day I had everything prepped for it, a website. I had profiles on the pages. I was already putting it on my subscription sites so that people could find me and they could see what I was doing. And so this was probably about 2 months ago. This is all very fresh. And I got an email about an event coming up in Vegas. And it's a wrestling match for all of these strong, powerful women. And so it's similar to like a UFC fight where there's cards. And so there's semi cards, there's main cards, and then there's like an after party. And so I actually got requested to be on one of the main card matches, which is against another woman. These aren't against men. These are against women, but it's really to display your skills, your athleticism, your abilities, because the men are there spectating. And so if they see you crushing it in the ring and they're like, oh, wow, she looks great. I love her skills. I love her abilities. I want to wrestle her. Then that's how you get more clients. And so I've never wrestled women. I mean, I've never wrestled men either, but I was so hesitant to sign up for that main card match. I have no idea who else is in this world. I have no idea how experienced these women are, how trained they are. Like, she could be a black belt in Jiu Jitsu. and I could get my ass handed to me in 5 seconds flat. Like, that's not good for promoting my skills and my services. Who's going to see me say I get choked out in 5 seconds? Then who's going to want to wrestle me? So I was so hesitant about signing up for that main card. And also, I was like, okay, what if I get injured in that? I don't know how serious these women are. This could be like really, really serious. And I could get injuries. And my plan was I wanted to do mini sessions after that. And then I wanted to book sessions throughout the weekend. And I was like, if I get injured, I'm not going to be able to wrestle and do the sessions throughout the weekend, which would make my trip worth it. And so I'm considering all of this. I'm going back and forth. I end up getting a sponsored trip to Vegas from a client who wanted a very specific session from me. So I'm like, okay, I'm for sure going. I did not sign up for the main card match, but I told them to put me on as a backup because I couldn't quite commit not knowing who I was going to be wrestling and how serious it was. I'm like, what's the vibe? What's the vibe? Are we having fun? Is this cool? Are we having a good time? Or are we like serious? You know, are we really going for it? Because that's a very different answer on my end. So I agreed to be a backup, and I actually got put in a match with another wrestler for the after party. So it wasn't one of the main card matches, but it was the after party. And I'm like, okay, that should be a little lighter. Hopefully it's a little more playful. It depends on who it is, what her personality is, and kind of what she wants to get out of the event also. But I was like, okay, I think that's a better decision for me. And so I ended up getting a sponsored trip to attend the event. And then before I even got there, I started getting requests for sessions throughout the weekend. I was like, okay, this is fantastic. Let's go. I'm just booking myself. I have no idea what to expect. I've done I've done very few wrestling matches up to this point. I've done a lot of stuff virtually. I've done stuff online. I know Jiu Jitsu, but I've done very few wrestling matches up to this point, and I kind of couldn't believe I was going. I don't know, the whole thing just felt so surreal. And the fact that I ended up in this world, it's brand new. I got invited to this event. Now I have a sponsored trip to the event. I have sessions throughout the weekend. Having zero idea of what to expect. I'm just going. I'm showing up. And you know, I showed up in full gear, in goddess splendor. So all of my wrestling outfits were gold, and initially they wanted women to wear costumes. And so I had my Valkyrie costume with like the big headpiece and the wings, and I did it right. Okay, I did it right. And I feel like it's this shiny side quest of fun and excitement and playful energy. And like, how often are you going to go to a wrestling event in a costume to have this persona and this empowerment and this energy? It was just so cool. It was so cool and so fun and so surreal. And so I get to the event. Somehow I had left my makeup at home. I was rushing. I had to go to Walgreens and try to get some makeup. And I was like, man, the one night that like I need to be looking like show ready. So I get there on time somehow, magically, and I walk into the event. Massive ring, like wrestling ring. Like it's legit. And there's stands, there's bleachers, people are already there. I go into the back, start getting ready. I come back out to the front, and a girl walks in, and I realize it's a picture of the woman that I'm supposed to wrestle. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna really set the scene and set the tone for like the night. And so she's like, are you Heidi? That's my stage name, Goddess Heidi. It's my dom name. And I was like, oh my gosh, she must be Alexa. And she was so sweet. She had such incredible energy. And I was just instantly relieved and so excited that this was going to be a welcoming, friendly, positive energy event, because I didn't know. I was like, this could be very competitive, standoffish, kind of territorial, right? Like many of these women are doms, and I've experienced a lot of territorial, standoffish behavior in the dom community. And so was like, this could be a lot of aggressive, competitive, non-playful women, but it was so incredible. And so the event was put on by Sessions Girls. And that's one of the main communities where wrestlers post their profiles and clients find them. So this truly is like the community for mixed wrestling, fantasy wrestling, this whole vibe. So Alex and I were talking about our match later, and we both agree that we want it to be kind of playful and kind of fun. And we both have very bubbly personalities. And so it didn't need to be the aggressive, super competitive match. And our match was also sponsored by a client. So a client had selected us to wrestle in this match. So we're waiting. We watch all of the matches. There's a tug of war contest. Like, there's so much going on in this event. There's so much entertainment. There's so much excitement. And it was so cool to see women in this element, like really just owning their power. And so Alex and I end up having our match. We have a blast. It's super fun. And then clients were approaching me to schedule sessions throughout the weekend. And I had already had a few booked. And so now I'm thinking in my mind, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to have a really busy weekend. So this is Friday night. I'm tired. We've been at this event a really long time. I get back to my hotel around 1 a.m. And in the morning, I had a session booked at 10:30 a.m. And this one was actually what sponsored my trip. It was a boxing session. So it was a semi-competitive boxing session. And I've done a lot of Muay Thai. I do a lot of striking. I do a lot of work on the bag and sparring. But I don't strictly usually do boxing. So Muay Thai is striking with the hands and kicks and knees. And so I'm used to incorporating my legs. So this was straight boxing. And we had protective gear, headgear, made sure we were on the same page about like intensity. And I was very concerned about not getting any injuries, especially to this. I don't want broken nose. I don't want loss of teeth. No, not this moneymaker. So headgear, mouth guards, wrapped up, boxing gloves. It was very safe. And so we did 16 2-minute rounds of boxing. And then you would have a minute break in between. I cannot tell you how gassed I was from these boxing rounds. I did not realize I was so deconditioned from boxing and striking. And I've been doing a lot of weightlifting. I've been doing more Jiu Jitsu. So like those two combined, I have not been doing stand-up combat. So I'm trained in it. I know what I'm doing. Yes. But it was the deconditioning that really, really got me, guys. I'm so gassed. It's okay. I did a great job. And you know what? It's an incredible lesson in keeping your hands up. So it does not matter how tired you are. You always keep your hands up because you will get rocked. You will get rocked if your hands are not up. There are a couple times I didn't have my hands up and I took a little hit. And I'm like, all right, we're not playing that game. Let's go. Game on. So boxing session went so well, even though it was so exhausting. And so then I had 3 more sessions that day. 3 more sessions after that boxing session was more taxing than most of my workouts currently. So the way I scheduled it, like I had just enough time to go back to my hotel, shower, make it to the next one. And so my next 3 clients were, one of them was fantasy wrestling. And then 2 of them were semi-competitive. So fantasy is less intense, a little less involved. They truly want to be dominated right off the bat. Like they're really not putting a lot of energy or effort into it. They kind of just want to be tossed around. But semi-competitive is more competitive. They're putting some effort into it. They're not trying to get a hold on me or choke me out, but they are putting more strength into it. They're putting, they're trying to get in different positions. And so the semi-competitive it's harder, right? It takes more work and it takes more of my energy and my strength and my endurance. And so I had 2 of those and then 1 fantasy. I cannot tell you how tired I was by the end of that day. I also don't know if I've ever been so sore. I mean, there were definitely some rough bodybuilding days where I could barely get out of bed, but I had to pry myself out of bed on Sunday morning. So Saturday was just filled with sessions. So Friday night was the main event. tired. I wasn't super sore, but I was tired. And then Saturday started with boxing for literally like what felt eternity. It was like a straight hour. And then session. And then I'm in Vegas. I want to go out. I want to enjoy. I want to have a good time. But there was none of that. It took everything in me to roll myself out of bed and go grab dinner on Saturday night and met with some friends, and we all had a lovely dinner, and it was awesome. And they're like, we're going to go out. We're going to do these things. And I'm like, I can't. I feel like literally a walking zombie right now. I must go to bed. And I knew I had a session Sunday morning also. So thankfully, my session Sunday morning was actually like on my way home out of town. So that worked out so well. But to pry myself out of bed on Sunday, oh my gosh, the soreness, hell. So thankfully, I only had the one session on Sunday. And at first, getting up, I was like, oof, I don't know if I'm going to make that. I did. It was great. It went super well. Had a blast. Got myself some delectable Korean food on the way home because I was so hungry and like I just really needed to recharge my body. But then I was so exhausted and I had a 5-hour drive back from Vegas to Phoenix. And by the time I got home, I was so stiff getting out of the car. Oh my gosh, guys. Whew. Such an incredible weekend. Incredible experience. Would I book that many sessions in a row? No, I wouldn't do that to my body again. But I want to talk about the energy of this because yeah, this is a crazy story. Okay, this is cool. You went to Vegas to wrestle men. Like that's going to be awesome when you're 80 and you think back about it, right? But I want to talk about the energy and what's actually going on, like for me, behind all of this. So, I love the power exchange, the masculine serving the feminine. I love being in the space of holding that. And this is a little different because it's so much more primal. Like because it is so physical and it's my body, it's my physical energy, and I'm using my physical power. So it's not so much psychological or energetic as a lot of what I use in the Dom world. But now I can put my physical power and exertion into this practice. And so it's so primal. And there's something really, really interesting about Jiu Jitsu for me. It was like a month ago. I had a really stressful day and I got to Jiu Jitsu and I sat on the mat and I felt myself just release and kind of decompress and let go. Like automatically, I just took a big deep breath and sighed it out. And I realized that it's such a decompression for me because there is nothing that I can think about other than that moment in jiu-jitsu. Like when I am grappling, when I'm rolling with something, I am not thinking about the stressors of the day. I am not thinking about what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm not thinking about the to-do list. It forces me to be present and only present because it's fight or flight, right? We're in survival mode. And it's not like my life is on the line in jiu-jitsu, but your body is in survival mode, right? And you're fighting and you're trying to catch your breath and you're pushing someone off of you and you're trying to get a hold on them. And you have to be so present and so engaged. Like the minute you think about something else, the minute your brain is somewhere else, you're getting choked out. And so I love it because even though it's physically exhausting, I'm exerting a lot of energy. It does raise my adrenaline, right? I'm sure it's an increase in cortisol because I am in fight or flight or survival mode. But it's such a decompression for me. And it's also that primal outlet for my energy. I feel like, especially as women, there are so few places and environments and circumstances where you can get that physical energy out of your body other than like martial arts, right? Like being able to express your feminine rage, being able to get that out of your body and to have a physical outlet for it has been so healing for me. It's been so incredibly healing. And that's just been in like jiu-jitsu. That's just been in training. I've never really had a circumstance other than some sparring in Muay Thai, but it's very light. But I've never had a circumstance where I can actually like exert my power to win over men. to be able to put them in a position where I'm exerting my physical power. And it's not rage, right? Like, I'm not angry with them, but you do have to have an aggression. You do have to have a desire to win and to give you the energy and to give you the fortitude that you need to win through that. And so being able to wrestle men for real, like, I'm exerting energy. I am putting force into this. I am putting them down. I am getting on their back. I am choking them out. I am locking them with my legs in a triangle. It is so primal. And being able to push that energy out of my body onto another human being who is a man who I'm not afraid of hurting, who I don't have to hold back from. And it's real, because we're not just training rolling. This is real. And they want to feel that power. They want to feel that strength and that exertion. And they want to be physically dominated by a woman on the mat. And so knowing that it's consensual, right? They want this. They want to feel my power. They want to feel me smash them on the mat. And I also want to smash them on the mat. And I get so much joy out of getting a chokehold or getting on their back and doing a rear naked choke. Like, it's so empowering. It's so primal. It's such a good release of that energy. And I feel like after those sessions, I'm calmer, I'm more relaxed, and I feel really, really good about myself. Like, really good about myself and my strength and my skills and just my energy too, because there's different ways that you can present yourself in this. You can be very, very focused on the athleticism of it, which tends to be a little more aggressive, which can tend to be a little more detached, less playful, less personality, more just straight business. Here we are. I'm a pro. You're getting choked out. Let's go. Which is great. Fine. I love those women. They're getting it done. And then I feel like because I have such a bubbly, playful personality, I bring a little more of that into it. And I know I'm strong. I know my physique. I know what I'm capable of. But I also like to play and have a little fun with it and smack talk. And this weekend, one of the guys was like, oh, yeah, I let the girls win. And I was like, oh, I'm glad you tell yourself that. Does it make you feel better? It is so fun. It is so fun to speak to these men the way I want to speak to them and then to physically smash them on the mat. How incredible. How freaking incredible. So I was in Vegas all weekend, wrestling men, getting paid well to do it, guys. And where this is going, I don't know. I have these grand visions of being in the WWE and having this whole wrestling persona. Will I do that? I don't know. It seems like a very, very shiny side quest. But this wrestling excursion also felt like a very shiny side quest. But now, after doing it, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I felt so safe. All of the clients that I saw were kind and respectful and appropriate, honest. There was never a point where I felt unsafe. And like, of course, someone had my location at all times. They knew where I was going. They knew what I was seeing. So like, I had safeguards put in place to make sure that I was accounted for. But there was not a single time that I felt uncomfortable. And that's not to say that always happens, right? That's not to say you're not. I mean, there's weirdos everywhere, right? But I do feel like it's a really positive, engaging community. And I'm so excited to be a part of it. And some of these men were so, so, so sweet. They wrote me incredible reviews and just helping me kind of further my ability to establish myself in this world, which is awesome. And I already have more sessions booked. And I have several sponsored trips planned to Philadelphia and Washington and San Diego. And what? It's because 4 or 5 months ago, I was manifesting being paid to travel. I was like, I want to be paid to see clients. I want to be paid to travel for this nationally, internationally. I mean, I was kind of envisioning my coaching business and speaking and doing retreats and hosting workshops and events, but the universe had something else in mind for me. And the universe was like, you know what? You're going to be paid to travel to wrestle men. And who's to say that I can't also book speaking engagements? And who's to say that I can't also host retreats while I happen to be in that place wrestling men? This is another really big lesson for me in saying yes to opportunities. Because even though this sounded very aligned, I have been so deep in building this business and building my clientele that part of me said, this is irresponsible. Part of me said, maybe this probably isn't what you're supposed to be doing. Should you really be out here wrestling men when you should be focused on your business? And a little bit of me felt guilty for kind of following this shiny side quest and doing this wild thing. And I was like, is this even professional? Is this even okay? And what are people going to think? We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. I was presented with an incredible opportunity. Not only is it aligned with me physically, energetically, business-wise, who's to say that my only business is goddess guidance and women empowerment and therapy? I also have a dominatrix business. I also have a dom practice, and that can lend itself more towards fantasy wrestling. That can lend itself to this side of things, which I absolutely love, which I'm having so much fun. And the fact that I'm having fun with it and it's bringing me excitement and joy and pleasure and a primal outlet and abundance, and I'm meeting incredible people doing it, I was meant to be there. I was meant to be there. And the logical side of my brain that says you have to be doing this, feel guilty for that. You shouldn't be going to Vegas for a weekend. Wrestling men, you have commitments here. Like, all of these things that previously would have stopped me from going and doing something like this no longer carry that weight. They no longer have that power over my decisions. So I was like, is this aligned? Yes. Do I feel good about it? Yes. Is it going to bring me something positive? Yes. I didn't even know how much positive. I didn't actually know how much abundance and excitement and pleasure it was going to bring me. So that was a pleasant surprise. And is this something that, looking back on my life, I will be happy I did? Absolutely. Absolutely. When I'm 80 years old, I'm going to think back to the weekend that I went to this event and wrestled men in Vegas. Like, how incredible! This is such a cool life. And there's so many incredible opportunities out there that we miss because we don't open our minds to it. And we think, well, I shouldn't do that, or that's probably not, that might not be safe, or whatever the excuses are that we tell ourselves to shut down these opportunities. You can find a way. You can find a way to make it work. You can find a way to make it safe. You can find a way to experience these incredible things that you are closing yourself off to. So this is a reminder to me and a reminder to you to say yes to opportunities. It doesn't matter if it sounds crazy. It does not matter if nobody else is doing it. It does not matter if people think you've lost your mind. It's okay. It's okay. You're doing cool shit. You're doing really cool shit. And there are incredible opportunities out there, and like, the universe has so many things in store for you that you can't even imagine. You can't even conceptualize. And we shut it down just based on logic, principle, excuses, fear. But just to say yes and to go and do it. Go do it! Go do it! And I'm going to be saying yes to more of these opportunities. I am going to be saying yes to traveling once a month for sponsored trips, to go wrestle and to go network and to go build my business. And I have no idea where it's leading. I have no idea where any of this could take me, but it's the excitement. It's the pleasure. It's the joy that it's bringing me right now. It's the abundance it's bringing me right now. Yes, more please. Yes, more please. Exciting. So exciting. So I am just elated in my birthday energy right now. And this is so magical. And talking about this weekend is bringing back up all of those endorphins and those feelings and the energy, and it's showing me even more that I was meant to be there and doing that because it's so fun. So fun even telling you about it. So next time I'm going to do a better job of getting more content and hopefully getting some content of my matches and what this looks like. Because why aren't more women doing this? I don't know. I think so many of us would enjoy it. So many of us would enjoy getting this energy out, this primal energy out, and our feminine rage on men on the mats for money. It's gold. Literal gold. Okay. Gorgeous, gorgeous goddesses. I am off to go celebrate my birthday, and I have brunch with mom, and I have a gorgeous afternoon tea today. It's a celestial tea at the Four Seasons. And then I'm going country dancing, and then tomorrow I'm off to Sedona for a beautiful weekend. So as always, please like, share, save this show. Share this with anyone who you think needs a laugh or wants to hear about wild, incredible stories and the motivation to say yes to opportunities because they're out there. They're so out there. Gorgeous goddesses, thank you for tuning in today. I will see all of you next week.